This is a Microsoft Sidewinder Precision Pro joystick. It was the second iteration of their joystick series after the 3D Pro, and it was upgraded to improve ergonomics and to help sell Microsoft's 90s era flight simulators. My grandfather purchased this flight stick in 1998, and little did he know it, but this purchase would indirectly contribute to me becoming a captain for a U.S. major airline. When I was a kid, I used to go visit my grandparents in Emporia, Kansas, and really the only thing that I had to do there was either play pool, help grandma quilt, or go to the office and play this Microsoft Combat Flight Simulator. At the time, I thought it was a quirky game, interesting that I had its own custom controller that it used, but I didn't know it at the time, but it was burrowing deep into my psyche, this idea of flying, and that it was something that I deeply enjoyed. Now, even in 1998 and shortly thereafter, the world of online combat flight simulators was well in its prime. There was people playing, World War II Online, Aces High, all these other games, and I had no idea. To me, flight simulation meant me by myself in my grandma's office, learning to fly the Sopwith Camel unsuccessfully over and over again. That would all change, though, a few years later. I don't remember the exact year, but my grandfather would pass away. When he passed away, I would inherit the Microsoft Sidewinder Precision Pro joystick. And for a while, it collected dust on the shelf. I was busy playing Halo, I'm sure, teabagging people online. And it was mostly just a relic that reminded me of the fun times I had at my grandparents' when I was a kid. However, that would all change when I saw one particular commercial.
Join the action in Aces High, the online multiplayer combat simulation that pits you against thousands of real opponents from around the world. FlyAcesHigh.com is your destination for air combat and much more. By air, land, and sea, the battle rages online 24 hours a day. Learn the art of air combat and master the maneuvers and skills to make you an ace. Go to FlyAcesHigh.com for your free software download and 2-week trial. Are you up for the challenge?
I don't know why, but for some reason, I had no idea that online combat flight simulation was a thing. I just figured it was all single-player campaigns where you flew for an hour and a half along with your wingman, only to encounter a few bits of combat and then work your way all the way back to base, managing your fuel along the way. The idea, though, that you could combat somebody and hone this as a skill, kind of like Halo, blew my mind. And so I installed Aces High, and the rest was sort of history. As I got my feet wet and realized what a discipline learning BFM was, it really made me more and more interested in the subject. I read books like John Kylander's In Pursuit, Fighter Combat Tactics and Maneuvering, and tried to hone my skills. Now, early on, I was absolutely terrible. I remember before I even had a pilot's license playing this game, and I flew out, and I could have sworn that the people that I was engaging with were virtual reincarnations of Eric Hartman, because they just seemed to, without trying really at all, completely and totally dominate me. But as I kept flying and my virtual career kept blossoming, I got a little better and a little better. Because of Aces High, when it was time for me to select my college degree, I think it was kind of a foregone conclusion. Because of this flight stick right here, I chose professional pilot. Later on, as I became a CFI and was trying to build time, my simulator of choice switched from Aces High to IL-2. Now, IL-2 has a lot of valid criticisms of it. It's not the perfect simulator, but it does a lot of things really well. And that switch from Aces High to IL-2 is when things got particularly serious for me. That's when I started really competing in dogfighting tournaments, taking my kill-to-death ratios really seriously, and trying to hone my craft even more. Now, throughout this process of me honing my virtual skills online, I've always held the belief in the back of my mind that all of this time that I've spent doing online simulation was the reason that I was always so successful in my stick-and-rudder flying in real life. Anytime I had a maneuver to do rather than just the knowledge portion, it always came relatively easy for me. And like I said, I've always believed that this was because of all the dogfighting, all of the combat flying that I was doing online. But it occurred to me earlier this year, but there is one big piece of the puzzle missing. I got into aerobatics because I enjoyed combat flying online. I got into flying in real life because I enjoyed flying warbirds online. But one thing I've never done after 20 years of simulating this stuff online was a real dogfight. So with that in mind, I teamed up with the guys here in Vegas at Sky Combat Ace, and we were going to do the thing for real. I was going to get into a real dogfight in a pair of extra 330s. But before we get into the flight footage, we need to give a shout out to today's sponsor, War Thunder. Flight sims ignited my passion for flying, and War Thunder elevates that experience to a new level. More than just a sim, it's the most comprehensive vehicle combat game to date, boasting over 2,000 detailed vehicles for dynamic PvP battles, promising unmatched immersion. Best of all, it's free. Unlike some sims, War Thunder welcomes beginners and experts, offering adjustable levels of immersion from casual arcade play to full simulation. And forget about expensive control sets, you only need a keyboard and a mouse to get started. If you're ready for thrilling dogfights or all-out vehicle combat, play War Thunder now on PC, PlayStation, or Xbox using the link below. And remember, use our link for a bonus pack of premium vehicles, account boosters, and more. Again, completely free. On the day of the flight, I arrived at Sky Combat Ace and was promptly introduced to my instructor for the day, Josh Sandman Surface. We spent approximately an hour discussing the day's flight plan and going over some fundamental safety guidelines. The flight plan for the day was as follows. The first thing would be a low-altitude tour through the Red Rock Canyon near Las Vegas, followed by the simulated dogfights. After that, we would do some advanced aerobatics, a simulated bombing run, and then a G-tolerance testing maneuver, where we would pull up to 8 Gs to see if I could remain conscious. He explained that due to insurance reasons, he would be flying some of the non-combat maneuvers, such as the tour of the Red Rocks, but the combat part would be all me. As for the safety rules during aerial combat, we decided on a 5,000-foot floor, no shots in front of the 3 to 9 line, a 300-foot safety bubble, and 1 to 2 seconds of time on target, required for a kill. I immediately realized this is going to be different from what I was used to in the sim. While not taking shots in front of the 3 to 9 line is common practice for anyone who wants to survive for any meaningful duration, the 1 to 2 seconds on target restriction would rule out any high deflection snap shooting. It meant that I would need to change my strategies completely to get into the imposing instructor's 6 o'clock and effectively saddle him. This realization made me a bit nervous. While a well-aimed deflection shot can quickly end a fight, properly saddling an opponent often requires significantly more skill. We also covered some other basics of basic fighter maneuvers, like 1 and 2 circle fighting, corner versus best sustained turn speed, and a few other things. I felt like he was surprised by the extent of my knowledge on the topic, but I didn't want to come off as a know-it-all, so I refrained from asking many of the questions that were on my mind. Finally, when my excitement was at its peak and I was eager to get into the airplane, I found myself airborne in an extra 330.
Might be a little bumpy in here. Yeah, a little thermally. We shall see. I'm gonna go 2,500 on the prop just to help with climbing we need to.
The first item on our agenda was a canyon run through the Red Rocks just west of Vegas. While I'd done some low-level flying as a pipeline patrol pilot in the past, I had never flown this close to high terrain before. However, as the instructor flew, I began to realize that my virtual flights through the Caucasus and DCS had prepared me to recognize safe routes along an impromptu course.
Lots of airspeed to mess with. That means lots of G's to bail out if we need to. Oh yeah. Like for our training, tactical through here, he'll pull your engine out no matter like at the worst possible spot, right? Okay, yeah. I won't have to bail out. Obviously, you pull 5.5-ish G's to get out of here. Land on the road, just east of us. Okay, yeah. Easy day. You still feeling okay, right? Yep. Oh yeah. You're not. Yeah. Like I said, I don't think I've ever been sick in my life, so I think yeah. It's gonna take a lot. Sounds good to me. That is sick. They're pretty cool. Oh yeah. Definitely bumpy in here though. Some ups and downs. Oh yeah. Did a little ski jump here. This is always fun. We're still fighting a downdraft right now. Yep, I feel it. You feel it, right? Yep. And she's still ripping at 140 knots. Pretty crazy. These things are so powerful. Oh, I know. Oh my god. It's not even the same airplane as a decathlon. No, not even close. It's incredible. I mean, that would like, all these would feel like laborious in a decathlon. Oh yeah. Nice little sheer cliff face right there. Hell yeah. Thanks for it. Going ahead on the south side. Meet us on the south side, that'd be great. Yep, I'm heading towards the south. Roger! Little box canyon, take a peek, and get the hell out of there. Yep. Yeah, almost no rudder. Nope, not much. Really don't need a whole lot of it. Here we go, up again. Whee! About 4 G's right there. Oh yeah. A little slow roll over the top. All right, back in it we go. Woo! Red Rocks Tour is always a fun one. Oh yeah, this is awesome. Let me know when I make you nervous. Okay, you will. Hit deposit. I'm about to hit a wall. See that bubble right there? Woo! Hell yeah.
With the Red Rock Tour complete, it was time to get down to business. We headed west of the mountains and prepared for the first merge. I was somewhat anxious as I felt Sandman had high expectations of me due to my background, even though all of my experience in this area was virtual. Now, I gotta give a disclaimer. I still don't know exactly what the situation in the other aircraft was. In that plane was an instructor who dogfights with these aircraft multiple times a week and a patron who had never flown an aircraft before in his entire life. To be fair to the footage, I have no idea how much of the flying was done by the instructor versus the patron. It felt like playing a video game with a friend as a child, uncertain when the big brother would step in to take control of the game. That said, I think it's pretty evident when the instructor was in control versus the patron, but you could be the judge.
My plane is the oblique up left, by the way. That's perfect. That's probably gonna work. Alrighty, Ace 5 is about 7/8 and full in the green, code 1, ready left.
Or same, about 3 going down the wing, 7/8 on the acro.
Check away! Alright, turn in, fights on, left to left.
Left to left.
You see him, visual? I got him. Alright, stand by, I'll pass the controls to you shortly. Okay. Alright, get ready. 3, 2, 1, your controls. Watch the stall, there you go. Looking good, good job fighting here. Left to left.
Left to left.
Looking good, Ben. Looking good, Ben, I like it. Good job, 2-circle fight, no big deal. We got about 1,000 to the floor. Watch the stall. You can change it up the next merge if you want to. Watch the stall, there you go, good job, you caught it that time. Easy does it, so the next merge, if you want to make it 1 circle, turn right. Okay, I want to hold him here. Okay, you got it. Oh, we got a stalemate!
Oh yeah.
Ooh, watch the stall there, get that nose down just for a second. 500 feet to the floor. Looking good, Ben. Ring around the rosy. Oh, we're coming for you. See the geometry lining up here? Yep. Got 400 feet to the floor, check the floor, just get ready. Oh, watch it.
I'm going remote, buddy.
Copy. Get that turn coming in. Come left. Line them up. Come left a little bit more. And pick up the trigger and squeeze. Done. Okay, my controls. Your controls. Yep. Ace 5 terminate, Ace 5 terminate.
Ace 47.
Ace 4 check 30 left. Well, I lost my headset. That was why I was like, my merge was shit because the headset fell off. That happens. Ace 4, you clear line of rest right.
My first real dogfight was not a complete disaster, but there were several immediate takeaways. The accuracy of the simulators in reproducing accelerated stall characteristics surprised me. Furthermore, during this first flight, I found the urge to sharply pull back and fly well below my best sustained speed for a temporary geometric advantage much stronger in real life than in the simulator. Despite being in a 2-circle engagement where I should have prioritized turn efficiency above all else, I found my eyes fixated on my opponent, oblivious to my speed. Although the other aircraft forfeited by signaling a remos, I'd categorize this flight as a stalemate. Also, I find it hard to believe someone with 0 hours of flight experience could avoid an accelerated stall in this engagement, but again, I'll let you be the judge. For the subsequent engagement, I decided to implement more out-of-plane maneuvering and focus on lead turning to gain angles. Consequently, this fight ended much quicker in my favor.
You ready for round 2, Ben? Let's do it. Turn in, fights on, left to left.
Left to left.
Get some mirror speed for you real quick here. When the nose come down to skosh.
Yep.
So yeah, same thing, whenever you want the merge, it's up to you, man. All right. Turn for your knots locked in, get ready. 3, 2, 1, your controls. Also stall, there you go, careful with that, there you go, looking good. 4G pull right here, I like it. Left to left.
Left to left.
Come right for a second. Good job. All right, turn right. Actually, this is working pretty good. I'm on the high side, beautiful move. Finger on the trigger. Nose down, and nose down, and squeeze. Okay, my controls. Your controls. Good work, man. Hell yeah. Ace flight terminate 5, terminate, Ace 4, check 30, right.
Ace 4, terminate.
3.
Looking at the footage, you'll notice that the instructor didn't want me to pull much lead and allow my opponent to fall beneath my nose. In the simulation, they don't lead targets at all. You keep them directly in the pipper. While it may be slightly unrealistic, it aids in safety as it prevents me from inadvertently getting too close by losing visual. In Dogfight 3, I decided to experiment with psychological tactics. My hypothesis was that maintaining a visual on your opponent in real life could prove more difficult if their movements were unpredictable compared to a simulator. My initial strategy involved a feigned one-circle merge, switching to a two-circle. However, my plan unintentionally evolved from what would have been a two-circle merge into a one-circle. Nevertheless, my oblique maneuvering and lag pursuit into the sky caused my opponent to lose visual, leading to an easy victory for me.
Looking good back here. And Ace 5 is ready, right?
4, ready on the left.
Check away. We're gonna check away a little longer this time to get us more in the middle of this valley.
I'm gonna try an experiment. I don't know if it's gonna work out.
Okay. Turn in, fights on, left to left.
Left to left.
Give him more return so get closer to this valley for us. Go, that'll work. We're gonna try.
I'm gonna try to treat him into like two-circle, like we're gonna go nose to nose, and then I'm gonna switch directions.
Okay, yeah, make sure you wait till the merge to switch, okay?
Okay, got me.
All right, 3, 2, 1, your controls. Pull back. 5 high.
4 low.
I got it. Watch it. Okay, good, keep going. Good move, I like it, Ben, hell yeah. Continue. Pull some lag, looking good. Keep that powerful. Use your G's to maintain speed, looking good. Continue.
Gun.
High my controls. Fuck yeah, Ben, good work, man. Ace flight terminate 5, terminate, Ace 4, I'm off gear 4 o'clock high.
For the final fight, I wanted to test a standard practice in simming duels where each player attempts to get as low and as fast as possible before the merge. With my instructor's help, I aimed for a higher energy state for the initial merge. My strategy was to transition back into a two-circle flow and focus on maintaining a better sustained turn speed, hoping to win the efficiency game.
Yep, try to get lower and faster.
All right, turn in, fights on, right to right.
Right to right.
All right, 3, 2, 1, your controls. 5 high.
Going high, yep.
Good job. Come left, pull some lag pursuit. There you go. Right to right. Looking good.
I'm gonna lag displacement roll. I'll just go with
Get in
it.
there,
I'll go with it.
Yep, get in there, get some G's with them. Watch the stall. Right to right.
Right to right.
Let the nose come down, 1,000 feet to the floor. Here's your two-circle fight you wanted. Get that nose down. There you go. There's some speed for you. Good job. 700 feet to the floor. 500 feet to the floor. 300 feet to the floor. Right to right. Ooh, we're gonna fight to the floor, I think, huh?
Yeah, feel the G's.
200 feet to the floor, 100 feet to the floor. Check nose.
Hey, flight, knock it off, Ace 4, knock it.
Got them. Ace 5, knock it off. Alrighty, nice job. Thank you.
The result mirrored the first flight, leading to a stalemate before the opposing instructor conceded, awarding me the victory. I remember feeling a pang of disappointment that the difference in my turn rate between 120 miles an hour, which is best sustained turn speed, and 95, which is just above a stall, seemed negligible at best. Being disciplined with my speed did not result in the overwhelming geometric victory I had anticipated. And just like that, the fights were over. But there was one more thing we needed to test to see if the simulators had been getting it right. For the sake of brevity in the video, I won't be covering the advanced aerobatic maneuvers or the simulated bombing run, but let's cut to the G-force test. Every possible combat flight simulator includes a G-force tolerance model. In some simulations, such as DCS, the physiological modeling is fairly accurate. However, in others, like IL-2, it feels as if your pilot has never exercised in their entire life. Hence, without any prior G-force training to increase my tolerance, we were set to find out if I could stay conscious at a sustained 8 Gs.
Probably put my negative on my headset to fall off.
Just kind of put it forward on your forehead.
Yep.
It might slide off, but it won't, it shouldn't like pop off like for negative G stuff. So
Okay.
I'm just checking for trains. Checking for traffic below us real quick here. Definitely no trains on there. Alright, you ready?
Yep, ready.
Alright, remember to squeeze the cheeks, okay?
Okay.
So like I said, I'll introduce you to 6 Gs first.
Okay.
We'll pull into 8 nice and slow, okay?
Copy.
Alright, looking good. Get ready. 3, 2, and here we go. So there's 7 Gs. Now there's 8. There you go. Good job, Ben. Good work.
That was good. I didn't even get gray.
Excellent job. Excellent job.
From this G tolerance test, I gleaned 2 significant points. A, 8 Gs is extremely uncomfortable but manageable even without a G suit. And B, IL-2's fatigue model does not seem grounded in reality unless I am some unique genetic specimen, which I am not. For reference, here's a side-by-side comparison of my real-life experience in the IL-2 model with a 109, featuring an inclined seat.
So there's 7 Gs. Now there's 8. There you go. Good job, Ben. Good work.
That was good. I didn't even get gray.
Excellent job. Excellent job.
Hopefully this settles the debate regarding G-forces for flight simulators. And for the developers that might be watching this video, we can handle way more than you think. Feeling proud that I remained conscious, we headed back to the airfield to end the sortie.
Tower tag 19.
All right, 120, props coming in full.
Northwest information, Sierra, inbound landing. 195, Foxtrot, Northwest, take it, tower, make sure runway 12 right. Straight at 12 right, 50 Foxtrot.
We're gonna float for a while to the end of the runway here. Wait. A little drafty there.
Very nice.
All right, on the ground, we'll get that tail up here. Just the runway.
Sandman's landing was excellent, as I expected, and as we taxied back to the hangar, I had to ask the question.
0 right missing. Yellow flashing lights indicate you're approaching.
So the verdict would be that you would think that the sim flying has been helpful.
Operations are being conducted at close.
If you had to give a verdict, do you think the sim flying was helpful or not helpful?
Oh, very helpful.
And with that, we had our answer. Now, before we get into the debrief, where I give you my closing thoughts on the entire experience, I need to take just one more second to once again thank our sponsor, War Thunder. Just as early combat civs sparked my love for aviation, War Thunder might be the ignition for your journey. So why wait? Use our link below, dive into their sim, and challenge me in simulator battle mode today. So overall, what were the big takeaways from my experiment of actually getting to dogfight in real life? Can I faithfully answer the question, is there some transfer of skills between virtual dogfighting for so long and doing the real thing? Well, surprisingly, I always believed that the simulation would be more sensitive than the real thing, but that turned out not to be the case. The Extra 300, and I cannot emphasize this enough, is extremely sensitive, even more than just a spring gimbal in a Spitfire, for example, that already has a pretty twitchy elevator axis. The Extra really made it difficult to avoid the accelerated stall in the 2-circle flow, which you can kind of see in Dogfight 3. One thing that definitely helped me and I think aided me in the dogfights that we saw, though, the most was that the mental intuition and the ability for me to project and intuit what my enemy was going to do, what trajectory meant what, and what moves I needed to do in response to the sight picture I was seeing. Because I had a lot of experience with what those sight pictures looked like, and I could plan what was my subsequent move, that really aided me in my ability to, for example, in one of the dogfights, when the instructor wanted me to give my opponent a lead turn by reversing course as his trajectory was at me, and he had the turning room to be able to get inside this subsequent turning circle I was going to create by reversing my direction. Instead, I went up into a lag pursuit, into a lead turn, and settled in right on his 6 from high on his 6 o'clock. That sort of thing was the biggest transferability that I saw. Again, the ability to plan my moves out accordingly in response to the sight pictures that I was seeing. So overall, I think, yes, combat flight simulation is definitely helpful, and it gives you a huge, massive leg up for the real thing. That said, though, it is a very physical experience. The G-forces, while I tolerated them well, were not a walk in the park. It was a very different to scan and look around the flight deck or the cockpit and look for my opponent with all those G-forces on me. I mean, consistently in those 2-circle flows we were in, it was 4 Gs just all the time. So that is definitely something that, if you're physically fit, if you're maintaining your physical health, it's a very good chance that you'll be very good at the real thing. That said, if you're not, maybe not, because it is quite a physical experience.